The truth that all men are going to have to swallow is that women only crave men who are completely heartless. And when I say completely heartless, these are the men who do not get emotionally attached. These are the men who they crave in the bedroom. And these are the men who they deep down fantasize about and want to have relationships with. If you do not have these traits, she's going to look at you as a less masculine option, and you're in for a rude awakening. So if you stick with me for the next 5 to 15 minutes, you're going to be shown step by step exactly how to shift yourself into the best version, so that way you can keep every relationship stable and every woman actually interested in you on the level that you're wanting. Now, when this video is over, you go down below, you check out that MBT webinar. Okay, MBT stands for Masculine Behavioral Techniques, and I show you an exact step-by-step process how to implement these into your life to take these concepts that I'm about to show you on my marker board today at an even deeper level. So be sure to check out that presentation below. It is in the description. Let's dive in. Here's the truth. Women only crave heartless pricks deep down on a sexual level. Okay, these are the things that actually turn her on, and I'm going to show you today on this presentation exactly why you have to internalize these concepts, because the fact is 99% of men can't stomach it. Like 99% of men are so soft, they literally can't stomach what a woman's actually attracted to on a deep down desirable or sexual level. Like they literally can't stomach it. So if you can stomach it, you're going to be living a much better dating life than 99% of guys today. Now, women get most turned on by masculine men who are offensive. If you are willing to offend her, or you don't give a fuck what you say, or you don't give a fuck how it comes across, you're going to be looked at as much more of a sexual option. And the reason being is because she's going to see, hey, if this guy's gotten away with talking like this, if this guy's personality is like this, if he's successfully done this and been like this before, there's a high chance that he's a safe bet for my survival. He appears strong. Okay? Offensive men get women wet. You have to understand this. Okay? This is going to be the guy who doesn't text or call her back. The guy who doesn't give a fuck if he sees her on a week-to-week basis. Like, truthfully, the more you care and the more you get emotionally attached on any level, you're going to be in for a rude awakening when you realize that her sexual desire drops. Now, some of you, when I say most guys can't stomach it, I don't care if she comes from a two-parent household. I don't care if she is a hard worker. I don't care if she has a bachelor's degree. I don't care if she is good with kids. I don't care how her relationship with her father is. It doesn't matter. The amount of excuses men make up for simply to beat around the bush because they can't actually stomach what a woman's actually attracted to is pathetic. Like, most of these guys are complete pansy asses, okay? The guy who's offensive and the guy who gives no fucks, okay, this guy can sleep with her with no desire to get to know her. That no desire to get to know her gives her maximum desire to get to know him, which means now she can bring out her femininity. What is the femininity she wants to bring out but can't? The femininity is her wanting to text a guy good morning, her wanting to care for a man, her wanting to be pleasing to a man, her wanting to be submissive to a man in the bedroom, her wanting to do favors for him like cook for him or give him a back rub. That shit only comes out when you act like a heartless prick. So I'm telling you this, not because I'm some jaded motherfucker who you think, oh, this guy's got nothing better to do than make these whiteboard presentations on this marker board. That's not the truth. The truth is, most men can't stomach this. So I got to deliver this message with the truth. The guy who's also offensive can check her. Meaning if she acts out of line, if she acts bitchy, if she has this nagging attitude, he can basically say, hey, I don't give a fuck if I see you again, so get back in line. Now, whether you say that directly or indirectly, you get my point. The point is the bad boy who doesn't put up with any bullshit is the guy who turns her on. So what I can tell you is this. Showing no emotion, okay, and acting like a prick turns women on. Now, here's what you have to understand. It's in a woman's nature to desire and crave a relationship. So before you get your panties in a wad and you tell yourself, well, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell this girl I want a relationship. You're in for a rude awakening again. Women only want relationships from these types of men who act this way that I just explained. The reason why they only want relationships from men who act this way is because he appears the strongest to her, okay? I have to her outlined in red right here because it's not about you. I don't give a fuck how big your bank balance is. She doesn't give a fuck how much you can bench press. Women fall in love with the internal guts of the man. Some might call that charisma. Some might call it confidence. Some might call it swagger. Right? I like to call it just overall masculinity. Okay, but what you have to understand on a deeper level is that masculinity is not just your ability to lead. Okay, it's your ability to act entitled, almost arrogant, and bring out that heartless prick mentality that deep down all women fantasize about. Once again, I'm telling you, it's not about you. I don't care what you think is strongest. So if you want to come to me and you tell me, hey Casey, a strong man is one who leads with integrity, wears their heart on their sleeve, and is reliable and texts that girl every morning, good morning, baby, that's a strong man to me. Well, I don't give a rat's ass if you think that that's a strong man, because you're going to get slapped in the face by all the things that all the guys get slapped in the face with when the woman doesn't want them back. So it's not about you. I don't care what you align strength with. This is what she views strength as. So we're coming at this presentation today strictly by understanding what women respond to. This is what women respond to, whether you want to internalize that or not. So when a guy acts like an arrogant prick, the prick that she actually deep down desires, the offensive prick who doesn't give a fuck, his indifference, meaning his indifference whether she likes him or not, his indifference whether she comes or goes, his indifference whether he sees her again or not after that night, his indifference is a turn on. Because what it says deep down on a subconscious level to her is it says that I can pull chicks like you anytime. How does that register to that woman's brain? Well, if the guy's not nervous, if the guy doesn't care if he sees her again or not, she's going to get these subconscious communications in her brain that says, this guy's been here before, this guy's done this before, this guy's used to getting girls on my level, and this guy holds a masculine frame and he acts how he needs to act to continuously turn me on. Therefore, to some degree, he's probably pre-selected and gets women like this every single day. So if you don't have the celebrity status of Justin Bieber or Chris Brown to have flocks of women throwing their bra off at you on stage, how do you actually appear pre-selected? How does a woman get a judge of your sexual market value? A woman gets a judge of your sexual market value through how easy it is for you to remain indifferent towards her beauty. This is the only way that you can demonstrate high sexual market value. Sexual market value is not your bank balance. Sexual market value is not how jacked you are. Sexual market value is not how other men perceive you in the eyes of your community or your status or your job occupation. Sexual market value is when a woman looks at you and she says, how wet does this guy make other women's panties, not just my panties? Say that with me one more time. Sexual market value is when a woman looks at you and she goes, hey, how wet does this guy make not just my panties, but other women's panties? How do you actually show this that you have high sexual market value? You do this by remaining indifferent, okay? That indifference, by you passing her tests, showing that you don't give a fuck, not needing to initiate so much communication, not needing to send so much interest indicators, this right here is going to raise her attraction. So what this is going to tell her is this says, hey, he's a challenge. Since he's a challenge, that mysteriousness that he brings, okay, he must have other options. If he can dick down women like me, and I consider myself an 8, 9, or 10, he must be able to dick down other women that are an 8, 9, or 10. My God, I want him. And here's the funny thing about this too. This has nothing to do with compatibility. This has nothing to do with similar interests. This has nothing to do with if you guys align on some sort of spiritual level, like a lot of men like to tell themselves. This purely comes down to, does this man turn me on or not, and can this man maintain my attraction? And these are the cold truths you have to internalize, okay? So the bigger the asshole is that guy demonstrates, if he's a complete prick, the bigger of an asshole he is, the safer she feels. Once again, why do I have the safer she feels underlined? Because it's not about what you deem as safe. It's about what she deems as safe. So the male brain is logical. You think safe equals things are good, things are nice, and things are tidy. Meaning I got my own home and I'm some nice guy. She should feel safe with me. No. Woman is going to feel more safe with a trained UFC fighter who's a badass who could beat the living hell out of somebody if he had to, because he has masculine strength and the willingness of potential aggression. Okay, it's about what she wants, not what you want. Understand that. Strength to a woman, the bigger the asshole, the safer she feels. Woman needs to feel safe in order to want to be submissive to you, and a woman needs to feel safe within your masculinity, or what's going to happen is she's not going to be able to get sexually turned on by you. This is the truth of every single woman that you have to internalize. So, men seeking a relationship in any way, shape, or form, this is what I'm telling you, women only crave relationships from these types of men. You have no business in telling a woman that you're looking to date her and only her. You have no business telling a woman that you're really seeking a relationship right now. And the reason why it's going to completely destroy her attraction, the reason why this tears her attraction down, okay, is because men seeking a relationship in any way, shape, or form, this is feminine behavior. When you demonstrate this, her biology senses that you are too emotional. And it doesn't matter what your reasoning is. Your reasoning could be, I've slept with 200 girls already and I'm ready to settle down. Your reason could be, you know what, I've had my fun throughout all my 20s and I'm ready to start a family in my 30s. It does not matter what your reasoning is in any way, shape, or form. The second that you are the one to start to lead this way and give off these hardcore boyfriend vibes that says, hey, I'm not willing to walk away, I'm wanting to cut off all my options as quick as possible, this destroys your attraction because she has no idea. You got to understand that she has no idea what your past sexual market value was with all 50 other women you were with in the past 10 years. She has no idea about that. She only knows what you put in front of her. Women only know what you put in front of them. So if you've passed 50 other women's tests and all of a sudden this woman you're failing her test because either A, you tell yourself she's different, okay, B, you tell yourself you're ready for something more. You start failing these tests, you get put in a different frame. Now she looks at you as a weaker option. So you can't make these mistakes, okay? Her biology, whenever a man senses a relationship, because you gotta look at these words on a deep level. Relationship, love, companionship. This is where all these guys sound like big dorks. You end up sounding like a dork. She thinks you're a pansy ass because you want love. And so now you got a grown man, right, with hairy arms and a big chest, asking for love. Do you understand how this is completely going to destroy? And you're sitting there and you go, well, you know, I'm ready to live this way. I'm ready to do this. You're going to watch that these are the exact things that destroy a woman's attraction. So, men seeking a relationship, this is feminine behavior. So, what I'm getting at is women only want relationships for men who appear to be ultra masculine, okay? And this is why the bad boy doesn't need companionship. So the big thing that you have to understand with this, and I highlighted this in blue below, okay? Women only fall in love when they don't feel good enough. You need to marinate in this. Like deep down, marinate in that statement. Women only fall in love when they don't feel good enough for that specific man. This is how you build the emotional attachment. She chases your approval. She chases your validation. She doesn't feel good enough. Psychologically, she falls in love because value and satisfying hypergamy is what happens in a woman's head when you initiate the right feelings and frame control that only comes from pulling the right sort of emotions out of her. This has nothing to do with how much money you make. This has nothing to do with how high value you are on paper. This has nothing to do with how good of a leader you are. Your masculine indifference by not needing companionship from that woman, despite you being sexually interested in her or her being sexually interested in you, is a massive turn on. And there's no way you can ignore this because this is the truth in every single relationship. Now, swapping this over to this side, here's where most guys fuck up. Because it's easy to have masculine frame with a woman who has an edge to her. And I'm going to explain what I mean. Having frame and having indifference and having strong masculinity. Frame is easy, okay, when women, okay, are harder to get. What I mean by that is when the woman acts hard to get, when she has an attitude or when she acts bitchy, okay, when she can be rude or she can be cold sometimes, or she demonstrates that she maybe has a lot of options, she talks to a lot of different guys, her Snapchat's blowing up, her Tinder messages are blowing up, her Instagram's blowing up, you see this stuff, okay, she's going to come across probably to you as a 7 or 8. And that 7 or 8, she's going to give tests, she's going to play games. Okay, this is easy. See, most of you guys, you think, oh, this is when I get to show that I'm that masculine man and I can pass all these tests. You got to understand, this is when it's easy to show masculine frame. It is easy to show masculine frame to a woman who seems indifferent and a bit cold and rude to you. Because you stand up to her, you pass all these tests. Okay, and what happens is it's easy for you to demonstrate that leadership qualities that she looks for. All of a sudden, she opens up. Here's where it's a bitch. Here's where it's the hardest. Masculine frame is easy when she acts like this. However, masculine frame, though, is a complete bitch and hard to maintain when that 9 or 10 that you're around naturally comes into that date and she's ultra feminine. Naturally, her voice is completely sweet. Okay? When that 9 or 10 jumps on that date and she's right in front of you and she's ultra feminine, right, compliant and has high cooperation, okay, naturally submissive to your frame, and you choose the date and she says yes and she attends on time and she's very, very following your lead and she's very touchy-feely and she smiles at you. Okay, this is when it's hard. And it's hard because she's now agreeable. So when she's agreeable, you get a natural sense that, hey, I'm masculine enough, I'm high value enough. Look at me, I got one who likes me. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that nice? I found a hot, sexy, feminine chick who's agreeable, and she's cooperative, and she just willingly follows my lead. Man, you're sitting there kicking back, you're going, God damn, look at me, I don't even get tested. You're sitting there scratching your head, you see this girl smiling at you, you say, God damn, I don't even get tested. You sit there and you think, aren't I the shit? Look at what the shit I am, man. Did I hit a bench press PR this week? Am I looking thick? You think, damn, I pulled up in that car, like, did I get a car wash or something? Is that, like, you feel like you're the shit. But you don't understand that this is the deepest level to where your masculinity is tested. I'm going to explain why. Your guard drops. Your guard drops like a motherfucker because you think you're naturally masculine enough to handle this circumstance or this situation. You don't see that the tests are still going on, but because she is so in touch with her femininity, this is going on at a way deeper level. So you stop checking her because you don't even notice that she's testing you. You stop checking her anymore. And guess what? You think that you don't need to. And since she's so pleasing, since she never has this passive-aggressive vibe to her, since she's so cooperative, guess what happens? Your tone is less aggressive or less masculine than it was before. You start to think she's nice. You think she's a nice person. Damn, she naturally likes me. And you lose frame without even noticing. You look into her eyes deeper, you handhold more, meaning like you're going to initiate touch on her arm, you handhold, okay, you initiate physical contact, you try to kiss her. This is the shit that crushes you because guess what happens? That frame drops. That frame drops and so does that guard. So the most attractive men, you just have to understand this and you really got to pay attention to this to women who you view as a 9 or 10 and you have high attraction towards them. Because you're going to naturally make mistakes that you don't even notice that you're making. So the most attractive men to women are always, and I mean always, emotionally detached. You want to never give women your approval ever. I understand that this is going to sound crazy. I understand that if you watch this, you're going to think, man, never give them my approval ever. Here's what I can tell you. You never give them your approval ever, no matter what, even if they're asking for it. Because guess what's going to happen? When you act this way, you're going to see not a lot of guys act like this. So you're going to feel guilty. And since not a lot of guys act like this, your subconscious may even think that the relationship or the dating interactions are one-sided. And when I say one-sided, you think, damn, well, she's doing all of this work. I feel as if I'm not doing much. But guess what happens? She has to think that you're better than her, okay, in order for her to keep looking up to you. So what I can tell you is the reason why you never give a woman your approval or your validation or your attention in too big of doses is because every stare into her eyes, every single kiss first that you initiate, every handhold, you lower her attraction. You lower her attraction. She's not going to verbally say it, but over the course of days, weeks, months, and or years, if you're in a long-term relationship, this is the stuff that kills your attraction. And guys, I can tell you this too. Don't think that even the bad boy or the alpha male is immune to this. There's guys who are very, very alpha, and there's guys who are very indifferent to that woman. He starts to catch feelings or gets in a relationship for 6 months with her, starts acting different. Nobody's immune to this. You are not immune to this. The bad boy's not immune to this. The UFC fighter's not immune to this. The guy who's in jail isn't immune to this. You are not. No guy is immune to this until you know. So now that you've been awakened in this aspect that the most attractive men to women are always emotionally detached, you can now put this into play. If you like this video, hit the like button, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.